How we doing today, guys? So we are ready to actually paint this little gentleman, but just a quick little side note. I ordered this hat for my bunny and it is not big enough for her, so I had to order another one. So I've actually decided once we get him painted, I think it's gonna look really cute on him. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Well, he can hang out on Mr. Dragon there for the moment, though. So, I ran a little question on my Facebook page, and the decision was made that he is going to be a leopard frog, but very specifically a blue leopard frog, which is actually kind of neat. It's a genetic anomaly, but I've been sitting looking at pictures and mixing paint to the closest I could possibly find to the base color, because if you actually Google the blue leopard frogs, they have this incredible layering of colors that I am really excited to recreate on this little gentleman. But first, he's going to need that gorgeous blue tone. I am really looking forward to the challenge that is going to be giving him actually frog eyes. I've been Googling those images quite a bit as well. It's always fun to take a challenge, and especially when recreating nature and anomalies in nature. It's a lot of fun to really take on the challenge and do your best to actually make it as close as you can possibly get it to the real thing. But I think he's going to be neat looking by the time I get him done. It's going to be a lot of layers of color, but as you can see, this color is going to be really just gorgeous underneath everything. And there's not a crazy amount of pictures that I've been able to find that people have caught of actual blue leopard frogs in the wild. So I chose the best that I could find that showed the markings and the colors. And then I took that picture and I sat here and matched the color as close as I could possibly do. Now over top of this, there's going to be in places a shimmery green and also browns and black. But by the time he's all done, you'll just barely notice all of the little seams and marks that gave him the nickname Frankenfrog. And I've had two really good suggestions on names for this gentleman. One person suggested Prince. Another person has suggested Frankie. So definitely still keep those suggestions coming. And as soon as one really sticks, or if you guys agree on one in the comments, we will start renaming his new videos with his new name. But those will still go in the Frankenfrog playlist. I think it's always a good idea to group new projects together on a playlist, so that if somebody comes across it in the middle somewhere, they can easily access the rest of that particular art piece's story. I think this is my favorite part of any project, though, when I first finally start to get some color on there. And we can really start to see who is under all those repairs. What is this piece of art gonna turn out to be? And they have individual personalities in their own way. I know it makes me sound kind of nutty. I accept that. I will own my nuttiness. But just like if you talk to an author, they say their characters come to life for them and kind of decide which way they're going to go. Art pieces actually do the same thing. I may go in with a specific mindset of this is what it's going to look like, and it just says no. I've had that happen so many times, and it thrills me every single time. Like, if you had told me I would end up painting this guy any shade of blue, I would have told you were nuts. Which I think before I start, even though it's not perfectly to the natural, I think it'll help a little bit. I'm going to go over him with a light coating, maybe a little dry brushing of a darker blue, just to kind of make him pop here and there before I start adding my greens and my blacks. We'll see what he looks like once I get his base coat done. But I think he's going to look quite neat. If you have a few free minutes, definitely Google the blue leopard frog, because they are just such a neat looking animal. It's amazing the colors that just naturally occur. He is taking this color quite happily, though, isn't he? It's always a good sign. Let's turn him to the side so you can actually see what we're doing here. And this is another reason why I always suggest a good couple of coats of primer before you start really painting a project, because a lot of materials, but especially concrete, really loves to soak up that paint. And if you have a couple of good coats of primer, it'll soak up those coats of primer instead of soaking up your good quality paints. Not to mention that does get into any little cracks and crevices you might have missed with glues and things like that. And just give them just a little bit more solid. Which one of these days, if you guys want a good laugh, I will actually start my camera before I decide which height I want my table set at. I'm sure I look absolutely ridiculous leaning over my table to push it down, or trying to catch it if I push it up too fast. But I do love my table. And if you didn't see my previous videos, this table was a gift from my boyfriend for my birthday, because he is so super supportive of my projects and things that I'm trying to do. So I am thrilled with it. So I'm not going to go nuts on his face yet. I'm not sure. I got to look at my pictures and see what their little faces look like. On some of these things, I am having to look and see the green and brown leopard frogs, and just kind of turning that detail into the blue. Like, for example, they do tend to have less color on their bellies, it seems, as far as all of them are concerned. But I think what I'm probably going to go ahead and do is still give him, even on his belly, the coat of this color. Excuse me. And then I'll come back in over top of it and with a lighter color, just to keep the undertones of this pretty blue. which I did have a commenter suggest painting him purple at one point, so we didn't go too far off, actually. You gotta have fun and take some risks here and there. Create a whole new look for something. But I do actually have to go ahead and end this video here. I forgot to put a fresh battery in my camera. So I am going to say goodbye for now, and I'll come back once my battery's been replaced. But I will talk to you guys later.